Well, I'm finally off of my 6 day suspension for thanking Mrs. Marjorie Green, a state representative in the House, who put articles of impeachment against Biden. Started articles of impeachment against Biden. Uh, I thanked her for that. YouTube yanked the video at first. Then I appealed it, and they gave me back the video, and then they still gave me a 6 day suspension off of YouTube for thanking her. I also wrote Mrs. Marjorie Green and let her know. Hopefully, her little underlings let her know what's going on and not just keep it for themselves. I hope she don't have some Democrat working for her that don't want her to know what's going on and how YouTube is trying to censor even people thanking her for doing a great job and trying to get rid of a traitor that is treasonous against the United States. He is proven to be treasonous against the United States. He killed several people, got several people killed over in Afghanistan. He is inflating uh, uh, food prices and everything else due to putting us as last for energy again. He's trying to get this new Green Deal thing going. Just for a town of 75,000, uh, it would be impossible to even get that done, and it would take years and years and years. Uh, it would take astronomical amounts of cobalt, astronomical amounts of lithium, astronomical amounts of battery made, astronomical amounts of plastic used, non recyclable plastics, so on and so on and so on. And it would be impossible to do. Uh, to make all these windmills that he's wanting to make and to have the batteries to hold the electricity and then have the grid hold the amount of electricity that's going to have to come from these batteries. That would all have to be switched over, done. Um, China has the number one uh, import export, or export, I should say, not import, but export to cobalt. Um, I mean, so on and so on and so forth. They're also asking for known terrorists, jihadists, to be let loose in Israel and for the United States to champion these known jihadists over in Israel. Um, I don't know about you, but it sure does seem like to me Biden, after going to the world stage, uh, has a list and he's told who he can and cannot talk to as a reporter. Um, and then the questions that were asked were stupid ass questions at the at the world conference. Sure seems like to me China, who is also putting out 500 times more emissions than we are in pollutants and air pollutants and ozone killing pollutants, so on and so forth, uh, is the one pulling that puppet strings. Right now, I think we are being led by the CCP, and because if you look at what the CCP did to their people uh, about 20 years ago, give or take a few years, uh, it's right out of their playbook. I mean, just straight out of their playbook from what I'm saying. From the censorship to the to keeping people away from people, keeping people split up, to trying to harp on something like uh, a green thing in certain sectors that they know would never work. Never, ever, ever work. Uh, to keep them people from developing. Um, they're doing that's exactly what Biden's doing. It plays out of their playbook. Everybody's wondering who the puppet master is. I just told you who the puppet master is. Just go back. Look at everything the CCP, the Chinese Communist Party, did, and you'll figure out who's the leader of this playbook and who's the puppet master. If you cannot figure that out by looking what they done to their people in the last 20 years, then you might want to actually truly become awoke, because you ain't woke if you can't figure that out. A true woke person can figure out that you're being run by a true communist. So, but on that note, I will let y'all go.